It's always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Lusaka.
Gold FM is Nandi's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singapore.
Old is gold and Gold FM is #1 here in Lusaka.
Singapore loves classic hits on Gold FM.
Listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Bang.
We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki.
Lautoka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
On FBC News tonight, authorities confused as to who ordered the closure of 2 dorms at Nisinu Secondary School. Thousands of students turn out for classes on first day of the new school year. And government scholarship recipients identified, but board finds it difficult to locate students. Good evening and welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Who ordered the closure of 2 dormitories at Nisinu Secondary School remains a bit of a mystery. Parents were informed yesterday that the closure would mean the school could only take in 60 girls and 100 boys as boarding students. When our new staff visited the premises, they found them in a state of disrepair. Large holes in the walls and ceilings, plumbing broken or in poor repair, and trash and litter scattered throughout. This was to be where students were to reside at the start of their school year, until a school spokesperson announced the closure of the 2 dormitories yesterday. Efforts by FBC News to find out just who ordered the closure have proved fruitless after inquiries to the Ministry of Labour and the Office of Health and Safety. However, it appears whoever decided the dorms were not fit for use may have made a wise decision. Students seem to be much better prepared for the first day of school this year. With the government taking the historical responsibility for school fees from this year, it seems there's more money available for parents and children to be better organized. Apisalome Doka has the story.
It was a busy start to the year as students made their way to school. For many, it was their first time in primary school, but being better prepared meant less anxiety.
School has started with a bang, with parents bringing their children and teachers are ready to start the new year. So we hope that we are ready to work together with all the stakeholders to see that we do succeed this year.
FBC News visited schools in the Suvarnasori corridor and also in Lambasa to see how students' preparations this year was different from previous years.
I thank the government for the free education this year. Can give the chance for the children and the family for the poor background. They can take their children to school.
I'm happy that the government is providing fees and bus fare to students. I'm thankful to the government and hope that they will continue assisting us in the future. For students, I would like to advise them not to stay home, but come to school.
Even though parents have welcomed the load taken up by government, they still have a huge task at hand.
School has started this week. I hope that all our children have been well equipped. We all know that the fees are being fully paid by government. But parents and guardians, you still have an important role in your children's education. Your support and advice is still much needed.
The parents are quite happy that the heavy burden has been taken off their shoulders, which they've been carrying for a long time. At the same time, we've seen children coming in with new school uniforms and stationery. However, we feel that there is a heavy responsibility that needs to be undertaken by both parents and children, as well as teachers, to see that this new initiative of government does succeed.
With fees and bus fares now a burden of the past, parents have to take a greater responsibility to ensure that the efforts of government is matched by the efforts at home. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
Good news for applicants to the National Toppers Scheme. The Tertiary Scholarship and Loans Board has finalized most of the sponsorship places. However, as Akasita Tale reports, the board is finding it difficult to contact all the students who qualified.
If you have qualified as one of the 600 top students to receive full scholarship this year, the board is urging you to urgently contact it.
this way we can connect, and because we really want to settle the scheme, but we want to make it very fair and transparent and available to all. So even if the toppers do not want a scholarship, don't sit quiet. Come and tell us you don't want it, so you're not depriving somebody else, especially those with high marks.
The board wants scholarships to be given to students from all parts of Fiji so that qualified and skilled people are present all over the country. However, it's finding this difficult.
You know, agriculture is not a demand or it looks attractive. But these areas, this is what the country needs. And also for nursing, bachelor nursing, you actually go into a very high level of nursing. It's not the normal nursing.
With the setup of an interactive video link, students can now engage with the board from most parts of the country.
We've actually set up an interactive, video link with Lambasa, Lautoka, Nandi, and the Nasinu campus, where we were talking to all the topper students, actually answered questions and clarified for them. And we stayed back and also helped students who perhaps did not get the scholarship on their first choice to counsel them and to advise them on what they should perhaps be doing.
It is a good opportunities for us to receive this scholarship.
This is a very good opportunity for those students who haven't who wanted to pursue their dreams, especially for those who come from a background which they could not even reach their target.
The National Topper Scheme applicants will be finalized in the next few days, and students are being reminded to make the choice that suits them best, as they have the option of applying for bonded scholarships or loan schemes. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
For the first time in Fiji's history, thousands of primary school students made preparations to learn conversational and contemporary Itoke and Fiji Hindi as set out in the 2013 Constitution. Ritika Pratap reports all schools have given the signal that they are ready to take up this important nation-building exercise. Ritika Pratap reports.
Conversational and contemporary Itoke and Fiji Hindi are now for the first time compulsory subjects in all primary schools. And the Education Ministry says the schools are well equipped with all necessary resources.
We are fully prepared. I have asked all my staff in the district to ensure that right teachers are posted to all the schools. The curriculum is ready, CDs and other resource materials are all ready. And
School Management Association President Govind Singh says the instruction will be as the languages are commonly spoken in Fiji.
Conversational Hindi and conversational Fijian. It does not substitute the proper Hindi that people do in examinations, but this is conversational.
Students will not be tested on the two languages. The general idea is that they will become more aware and more capable of communicating in each other's languages.
Conversational Hindi or Fijian will be like a 30-minute lesson in a day per class. So generally in bigger schools, of course, you may need more than a teacher, but most of the schools, primary schools, are smaller schools, except for a few bigger schools. And these teachers can float and rotate into different classes to teach this vernacular subject.
The ministry has ensured that Itoke and Hindi-speaking teachers are posted to those schools that previously did not have one. The ministry warns excuses by schools not to teach the two everyday languages will not be acceptable. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, police warn public on blind spot areas as mugging and robbery reports continue to increase.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
I love Today FM because they play the awesome song.
Loto kasi they love Today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Univer Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Bulan 2 sa Batolo FM and naban 2 Raki-Raki.
Bula FM naban 2 in Nosor.
Go etabo ke boto ko sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM Nampan tu Korbo.
Bula FM number 2 Sawa. Bula FM number 2 Lotoka. Bula.
Nampan tu Bula FM member.
Bula FM number 2 NSR in Singapore.
Kalau talita kita warung dengan Bula FM Lotoka. Ali akar warung Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Welcome back. You're with FBC News. The Fiji police force confirms reports of people threatened, mugged and even robbed in the streets of the capital are on the rise. The daring attacks usually happen in the dark early morning hours on weekends and are a major concern. Akusita Tale has the story.
There have been 3 confirmed attacks so far this month. As a result, 2 suspects have been arrested.
These are people who are coming from out of Suva, and the most common occurrence is that these are people who have often been, into town, enjoyed the nightlife, and then have just been caught in the surprising end of having no money, and then all of a sudden they use that opportunity to attack and also prey on these innocent people who have been going around this blind spot.
The police are treating these cases seriously and are advising members of the public to be wary of these areas that are classified as dangerous in the capital city.
These are mostly where there are no street lights, some of those corners where I think people have just found it to be an opportune place to prey on those who've been walking around in those areas. There are a number of places that the police are aware of, and like mentioned, the monitoring aspect is continuing.
While there aren't any reports of similar incidents in other divisions, police have beefed up operations in all towns and cities.
Be to avoid such areas and also travel in numbers. At this point in time, we know that is one of the upcoming trends that is occurring. However, we will try our very best to ensure that we have the necessary monitoring systems in place and security as well.
The police also hope to reduce this increasing trend by being more visible on the streets. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Great news for first home buyers. The Housing Authority has released yet another large batch of land outside Suva, making it easier for young families to own their dream home.
Are you a first-time home buyer? Well, you can now have your own home with minimum fuss. The lease papers are ready for interested families to buy almost straight away.
The Housing Authority has announced that with its 167 new plots and its lease papers are now available for Tadi Rua. According to the Housing Authority Chief Executive Officer Alipate Nayorasui, what used to take months, even years, will now only take a few weeks. This, he says, is thanks to the collaboration between the Itauke Land Trust Board and the Housing Authority.
And then ITLTB prepares the lease. And then, of course, the lease is assigned to HA to be mortgaged because of the loan being given out. And then, on average, it takes months and even years.
Nayar Sui says the collaboration between the two parties now means those who buy land early this year will be able to move into their new homes by Christmas.
To build on a self-build basis. For you to move into your house, it depends on how quickly you build a home. For the average low middle income earner, it may take 3 to 6 months to complete a home. So if we are able to people acquire or buy their lots for those 167 from us in March, surely by Christmas, on the fourth quarter, last quarter of this year, houses should be completed and you should be able to move in your home.
The Housing Authority is also facilitating loans for first home buyers to purchase plots from as low as $18,000. The 170-acre Tadira project is fully funded by a Chinese soft loan. Aliti Vervo, FBC News.
A clear set of rules is now in place for people seeking financial assistance for overseas medical treatment. The misuse of funds has prompted the Health Ministry to develop rules and guidelines for patients and their relatives. Shireen Lata reports.
The Health Ministry has been aware for a while of patients misusing funds which they had initially collected for overseas treatment.
We've had people that have opened bank accounts, and we found that these people have misused these funds. Or basically what happens is the documents or the permits that are taken from the district office are used as a begging tool.
The Health Ministry will carry out comprehensive assessment on reports given to patients by the medical board. They will then provide medical expenses for travel abroad, while the relatives of the patients will have to make arrangements for air travel, accommodation and other expenses. For kidney transplants, the Health Ministry will provide air travel, while the relatives or donors will have to arrange funds for the transplant.
They have to provide just their basic identification requirements like their TIN number, their birth certificate. They'll have to provide a report. Of course, a referral report will come from the local specialist, and they will provide their bank statements, their FNPF statement, insurance documents.
Evelyn Money says the need for overseas referrals is now reduced, with only a few cases being transferred to New Zealand and India last year.
We have the rheumatic heart disease treatment done locally in Fiji, but this was done by 2 visiting teams from Australia and New Zealand. We also have the open cardiac heart surgery done by the Sahadri hospital in Fiji. We also have the angiograms and angiographic stents, and as well as pacemakers. These are now done locally.
The Health Ministry is working on providing more treatments locally so that ordinary Fijians don't have to spend thousands of dollars for overseas treatment. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Good evening, Jamie. What do you have for us?
Thanks, Amrita. Nice for you to join us in studio this evening. You seem extra happy today. Is it a special occasion?
No, Jamie, it's not my birthday.
It's not your birthday? I heard otherwise. I heard it was your birthday. I was hoping you'd tell us how old you're turning today.
18.
We'll have to check that. We'll go to the register's office. But coming up in sports, Ben Ryan lays down the ground rules as he tries to keep his boys focused, and Sports Commission prepared to pay top dollar for overseas coaches. Details coming up.
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 is number 1 in Singapore.
मैं लंबासा के निवासी, मेरा नाम प्रेम चंद्रा है। देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2 को मेरा सलाम।
नैनी में देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2।
रेडियो फीजी 2 में देश की धड़कन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 is number 1 in Singapore.
नैनी में मेरा धड़कन है रेडियो फीजी 2।
हम नन्नूपुर की किरी रहता है और हम रेडियो फीजी 2 हरदम सुनता है।
हमें रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनो बहुत अच्छा लगे। आप भी रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनो।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो फीजी 2।
Talita na Radio Fiji 1 na mwira ni nondo bonua.
Ando talita kana borrongo na Radio Fiji 1 singa toka mbole ni station ni Alumatua.
Ando talita ka bale una borrongo na Radio Fiji 1 station ni Alumatua lo toka.
Ando talita ka bale una borrongo na Radio Fiji 1 na mandi na station ni Alumatua.
Au tuko korbo ando borrongo leve na station ni Alumatua na Radio Fiji 1.
Do borrongo na Radio Fiji 1 na station ni Alumatua na mandoi tele.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi vitina bonga ni BNN.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Fiji 7 side has settled in well in the US. However, they are also maintaining a strict policy for visitors wanting to meet the team. Coach Ben Ryan wants his players to stay focused on the task at hand and not deviate.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's brilliant that we've got such good support in the US, and I'm sure the following 2 weeks' time in Wellington will be the same. But also, the public must understand that we're here to play well. And that means that they've got to stick to doing their training and getting their rest and recovery. And that's not going out and gallivanting or getting entertained. It's getting done some hard work, and rest is just as important as training. So I'm grateful for all their support and looking forward to seeing them all at the weekend.
Meanwhile, the side is working hard to perfect their basics before the Las Vegas tournament kicks off. Coach Ryan has identified players he believes will bring a new dimension to the way Fiji plays the game. Indra Singh has more on the Fijian Gladiators.
Having ball hunters in crucial situations is becoming a norm in the modern sevens.
We picked a fairly hard team, like you say, those guys, their tackles, I call it tackle jackal, their ability to tackle, bounce, turn over ball means that opposition have to be absolutely on the money if they want to get the ball back against us defensively.
Ryan and his men have hit the deck running in the US, showing their seriousness by going through tough training sessions.
So it's going to be, that tournament always throws up some strange results, Vegas, and I hope there aren't any strange results revolving around us, that we just start well on the Friday night and keep going with it.
The tall men in the side have been handed the task of winning crucial possession to ensure points are piled up early in their games.
It's been good, and Semi's been right at the top of the fitness level, so I know he can go 6 games and 14 minutes a game, so it gives us lots of good opportunities.
The skipper realizes the pressure he's under, but is confident with the return of his old mate, Levan Mbotia.
Mbotia is a world-class sevens player. I think that any team would be lucky to have him, and I think we are fortunate to have him back in the team.
With 3 different winners in 3 tournaments so far, it will be very interesting what teams come up with in Vegas. With adjustments needed to play on the narrow pitch at Vegas, it could be no surprise if there is a 4th winner in as many tournaments to make this series more exciting. However, with a heavy fan base in Vegas, the Fijians have a bit of an edge than other teams. This adds to the excitement both on and off the pitch, and predictions are that Vegas will be nothing short of a spectacle. Interesting, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Warriors have been pooled with 2 Australian and a Japanese side for the 2014 Pacific Rugby Cup. The defending champions join the Queensland Reds and Western Force second-string teams, as well as Junior Japan in Pool A. Pool B has the Argentina Pampers with the Waratahs, ACT, Samoa and Tonga A teams. Games get underway on February 21st with the Warriors' first match on March 2nd against the Reds A side in Brisbane. The Nandi football side is lamenting its lack of goal scoring as they prepare for the 3rd leg of the champion versus champion match against Mba. The Jet Setters took the lead in the first 2 matches, which both ended in 1-1 draws. Converting goal-scoring chances to goals will be paramount at training this week.
Confident with my players, and they will get this last game. For of course they made mistakes in these 2 games, so they will rectify and then come up strong.
The match starts at 4 p.m. at Churchill Park on Saturday. 7 individual sports in Fiji will soon be getting overseas coaches. The Fiji Sports Commission has approved coaching applications which fall under the $2.2 million budget allocation from the government. Elena MacDonald reports the Commission has every reason to pay top dollar for expertise.
Picked up in there, straightening it.
Rugby, cricket, table tennis, volleyball, boxing and netball have their work cut out before they can welcome their new coaches.
It's all subject to information. It's subject to things like contracts. It's subject to the work permits and various other things.
The Commission says spending $240,000 on each coach is justified.
A coach doesn't just come on a salary. Somebody has to pay their airfares. We're doing that. Somebody has to pay their insurance. We're including that. Their accommodation in Fiji, a motor vehicle, the cost of running that motor vehicle. We're going to cover all of that.
The volleyball is prepared to have the international coach coach our national teams, of course with the assistance of our local coaches who are more than willing to be part of the panel of coaches.
15 national federations initially made expressions of interest to apply for an overseas coach, but pulled out when they were asked to supply more information. Although applications for overseas coaches has been approved for all 7 sports, Fiji Sevens Rugby is the first to show their coach in Ben Ryan, while the remaining 6 have until April to do so. Elena MacDonald, FBC Sports.
And that's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to the birthday girl with business.
The The city of Suva was a hive of activity as people doing their last-minute school shopping early today. Parents and children filled most shops in the capital even though classes were about to get underway. Epeli Tukuasa went visiting some shops and this is what he found.
With a large number of bargains on offer, parents were trying to get the best for their children. Bookshops, uniform suppliers and other businesses in the capital were jam-packed with members of the public this morning and also late yesterday's afternoon. For most of the parents, there is no major change in the price of school materials this year.
I think it's the same. It's from last year and this year it's a bit the same. There's not much difference in the price of school books from last year and this year. So I think it's just fair.
The police force has warned shoppers to be mindful of carrying cash during this busy period.
We're also urging shoppers to be vigilant with the money that they're carrying. We have received some reports of pickpocketing where in major towns and city areas, just those taking advantage of those who have been busy, caught up in things that are happening. So I think that's just an extra precaution for them.
The rush is expected to continue all week, not just in the capital, but in other centers around the country. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
Hi Jen, what's the weather like today?
Well, Amrita, my standard answer to anyone who asks is moderate to rough, but I don't think that would suffice tonight. Showers and thunderstorms were the order of the day for most places, with Suva and Sabasaba over here lucky enough to miss out on the latter. These two centers experienced some clouds and showers, while everyone else had sunny conditions in the morning and heavy rain in the afternoon. A bit of a drop in temperatures for Ba, from around 32 or 33 degrees yesterday to 29 degrees today. No change for the other centers who are still hovering between those two numbers. If you're hoping rain will cease tomorrow, don't hold your breath. Conditions aren't likely to change anytime soon, so make sure the little ones are covered up for school. And yes, that is another aerial picture of Coral Island. Since we show a lot of photos of the mainland, we just had to put this one up again. Plus, it's motivated me to try skydiving. Let's see how that goes.
Skydiving, I might just tag along. Our main stories tonight. Authorities confused as to who ordered the closure of 2 dorms at Nasinu Secondary School. Thousands of students turn up for classes on the first day of the new school year. And government scholarship recipients identified, but board finds it difficult to locate students. Now on to our poll question. This week we ask, is our Sevens team to Las Vegas Ben Ryan strongest since his appointment as coach? Visit the FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News. Or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's FBC News for tonight. Good evening.
Old Town Tower में it's only Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
ताकि हर घर में खाली मिर्ची FM बजे. Mirchi FM it's hot.
Best sound, best music. Mirchi FM rocks and records.
Nani का #1 station है Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot. Mirchi FM it's #1 in nursery.
Mirchi FM is hot. हम लोग Mirchi FM रोज सुनता है. Mirchi FM जागो मामा. Mirchi FM